A lot of times within Ads Manager, it's difficult just to understand, what are the metrics that are really dragging down performance. Like that's tough to see, right? And that can just lead to the frustration and really not understanding what's going on. So we totally get this. We totally get this. And in many respects, it was the impetus for us to roll out the AdSet Health Report. So one of the things that's important to remember is that to get to the AdSet Health, you just click on the ad set name from the grade guides. We're auto grading all of your ad sets now within the ad account, and so you can just expand the grade levels, click on the ad set name, and you can come into AdSet Health. The first thing that you're going to see with AdSet Health is that you get a multi-day view of your performance very easily, right? So you can just scroll back and forth. In this case here, we were going back and forth between 8 days. The days are shaded, so if you have a good day, it's shaded in green. If you have a bad day, it's shaded in red. If you have an average day, it's shaded in yellow. We do the shading based upon the performance thresholds from the grade guide. Now, we also line up the key metrics that can impact performance. So we've got CPM, click-through rate, conversion rate, and conversion value. So it's some combination of those four. If it's purchased, that's going to result in return on ad spend. And if it's not purchased, if it's just a CPA, it's the first three that are going to result in your cost per result or your cost per CPA. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Brian, there are other secondary metrics that roll into that, like relevance and frequency. You may want to see your cost per click under click-through rate. So we give you a quick expansion there that you can just easily look at some of those secondary metrics that roll up to those primary ones. Now, if you're an ads manager and you're trying to get a feel for, okay, I had an average day 3 days ago, number one, just knowing that as it relates to the other days, and then what was the metric that drove that, you can see here that with AdSet Health, it surfaces it very easily. So I can see that I had an average day on May 25th, and it was the conversion rate that drove that, right? Now, I don't need to overreact to this. Clearly I had 2 good days after that day, and so things are going well. Now, it's interesting here because AdSet Health is going to give you this multi-day view of your performance, and I think that a lot of you are probably going to make decisions less quickly. When you routinely see performance bouncing back like this, you're not going to necessarily shut off ad sets so quickly, which we're seeing a lot of. Like literally somebody will have 3 or 4 days of good performance. They'll have a morning and afternoon that is not performing well, and they'll shut off the ad set. And so as you see more of these ad set health reports, and you see how performance looks across multiple days, we're going to get less hung up on 1 day of average or poor performance, right? What you're really going to want to focus on, and sort of the whole premise of this screencast, is to look for streaks of red. Right? Streaks of red start to tell you that something's going on. It's more indicative of a trend with an ad set in your performance than just a single day, right? And so when you see a streak of red, so in this case here, we've got a streak of red across 3 days, and it impacted performance. And if you see a streak of red at the metric level, then it really becomes an area of focus. So in this case here, we have a streak of red on conversion, right? This allows me to focus and say, okay, I had really good performance leading up to the 25th, and now I've got 3 days of bad performance. I know it's related to my conversion rate here. What changed, right? So the big thing that the AdSet Health Report does is it just allows you to focus and ask the right questions, right? What changed? Did I have a sale that was running up through the 24th that actually improved performance on my website across the board? And so when that sale was ended, then my conversion rate for this ad set also took a hit? Did that happen? Maybe it's not related to a sale. Maybe I just went out of stock on key sizes or key items on that day, and so that's what impacted my performance. A lot of times, again, when you're in Ads Manager, you're thinking about the performance as it relates to the ad, and you're not thinking about the things that are outside of the ad that happen after the click that could impact performance. So in this case here, it's really about the conversion rate, and so it starts to make you ask those questions of what changed that could impact conversion, right? So let's go upper funnel a little bit more to click-through rate. Let's say that it has nothing to do with conversion rate and it's the click-through rate here, right? Now, like I mentioned on the first slide, from a best practices standpoint, if you see your click-through rate going down, you have to start asking yourself, well, is it frequency? Is it relevance that is driving that, right? And that can happen because if creative fatigue sets in. It's a result of your frequency going up, people seeing the ad multiple times, they get sick of it, your relevance scores goes down, and they're not clicking as much, so your click-through rate goes down, right? So in this case, we expand it real quick, and we can see that our relevance and our frequency is still fine. So being able to know that that's probably not impacting the click-through rate is a big deal, right? So again, getting back to being able to focus on what's impacting performance and really start to think through well, what changed? Oh yeah, all right, on Friday I did go into this ad set and I clicked that checkbox that says expand interests when it may increase conversion. So in this case here, okay, great. You know what? I started to go for a broader audience outside of my lookalike, but in the process, what ended up happening is my click-through rate is suffering, right? So again, this is one of those things where it brings focus. It allows you to think about what's going on with the ad set, what changes that were made. And we're actually going to introduce an activity log so you can see the changes that occurred on an ad set for a given day, so we can surface things like this when you have bad performance. And then lastly, if we go up one more level in the funnel to CPM, so this is ad cost of 1,000 ads, right? If you don't have streaks of red on your conversion rate, if you don't have streaks of red on your click-through rate, and you see streaks of red on your CPM, then that is a really good indicator that this is a perfect opportunity for a bid test, right? Because it's the cost of ads, it's your CPMs that are going up that's impacting the overall performance that you're seeing. So again, streaks of red on CPM, you don't have streaks of red on click-through or conversion rate, this is a perfect opportunity to bid test. So I hope that ad set health really allows you to get a much better feel in terms of what's impacting performance in your campaigns and in your ad sets. Again, the big takeaway here is look for streaks of red in your ad set health report. That's the main thing. Look for streaks of red, and if you have streaks of red, then start to focus, ask the questions, and then take the action to improve performance. If you have any questions or comments about how to interpret this, just DM us on Facebook, initiate a chat session on our website. We're here to help as always. Thanks a lot. Hope this video was helpful. Again, ask questions below on the comments as well. I'll come in and answer any questions that anybody has. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.